Hey, 20-1s. Here we are in our last lesson in systems. In this one, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at inequalities of two variables. So in the last lesson, we had one variable, just x. So in this lesson, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at when we have an x and a y. Okay, actually no big deal. The fact that there's two variables doesn't make it much different. Okay, graph and solve the following inequality. Okay, no biggie. So what I'm going to do again is if I have to do this thing algebraically, I'm going to factor. I'm not going to go and look for my vertex. I certainly could if my teacher asked me to do it by completing the square if I wanted to, but I just want to do that. I want to factor. So here we go. Actually, I'll find the vertex for you anyway algebraically, but I'm not going to complete the square. I don't think. We'll see. So where's our x-intercepts? Well, we got an x-intercept over here at 10. We've got an x-intercept over here at -1. Looking at the constant term, I know my y-intercept is over here at -10. Okay, well, I want to find the vertex maybe. Maybe my teacher asks me to do this and I forget how to complete the square, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Okay, I'm just going to state my x-intercepts here. My x-intercepts are -1, 0, and 10, 0. So another way to find the vertex if I forget to complete how to complete the square is I'm going to figure out where the axis of symmetry is. So remember, your axis of symmetry is the line that's right in the middle. It cuts your graph in half. So guess what? It's directly in between these two x-intercepts, also known as directly in between, also known as the average. So I'm going to take the average of these two things. And this will be my axis of symmetry. I'm just going to go sideways here just because I don't want to run out of room. Okay, well, that's 9 over 2. I'll write that just as 4.5. Okay, so how does that help me? Well, I know my axis of symmetry is right here then at 4.5. So to find my minimum value, all I need to do is to find that y. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to sub that value into my equation or inequality, just like that. And what do we get? We're going to get -5.5 times 5.5, which sounds like -30.25. So our vertex is, oh, it's way down here at -30.25, right there. So now we've got ourselves a nice looking, right there. Look at that. Goes through there. There's our minimum, comes back up. Hey, look at that. There's a decent looking parabola. So there. Now, let's answer the actual question. What did the question ask us? It asks us, where is y greater than x squared minus 9x minus 10? Okay, so a couple of things. First off, we want where the output is bigger than our graph here. So first thing, it's going to be above our graph that I've drawn. The other thing is that I've screwed this up. It says greater than. So I shouldn't have drawn a solid line, should I have? No. I'm going to go back and draw a dashed or dotted line, whatever you want to call it. So there we go. Goes through that y-intercept. And she comes around, and there she is. Okay, so we want to know where are the y values greater than that line. Sure, right there. That's where the y values are above that line. So your solution is anything in that region. So again, your solution is anything in that region. So, I mean, over here, the point, the x-intercept, or not the x-intercept, the point 8, 0 would be a solution to this. So it's anything above that line. Now, in my calculator, how do I graph this thing? Okay, no problem. So let's pull up our calculators. And, okay, we go and graph this thing. Okay, again, I'm just going to make sure I'm in my standard window settings. So I go zoom 6. And, oof, it's not a very pretty looking graph. I don't quite see everything. So I'm going to go quickly change my window settings. Maybe just I'm going to make X max a little larger. I'm maybe going to go to 20 and make my scale bigger to 10. Okay, y min, I'm going to go down to negative 50. And let's make our scale something big like 10. And let's graph. There's a nice looking graph. Now, remember, how do we show inequalities? How do we show that we're above that? So what we're going to do is I'm going to move my cursor over here. And again, if you have just a TI 84 or 83, you won't see this screen, but you want above. So I hit enter and I hit graph. So I got that upper triangle. And again, your solution is anything in that region, my friends. So there it is, friends. That is how you solve a quadratic inequality of two variables.